where these people have no proper training whatsoever. They've got no horticultural experience. They don't know anything about mowing heights. They don't know anything about fertilising, pruning, or appropriate pest controls. They don't know any of these things. And of course, they then offer poor advice.
Where are we starting?
In no particular order, for no particular reason, but I'm going to start off with things like Jim's mowing services.
Right.
All right. And other franchises, not just Jim's.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jim.
there are other mowing franchises. And one of the things that bugs me about this is that you can just go and buy a franchise, pay Jim his exorbitant prices for a mowing round, where these people have no proper training whatsoever. They've got no horticultural experience. They don't know anything about mowing heights. They don't know anything about fertilising, pruning, or appropriate pest controls. They don't know any of these things. And of course, they then offer poor advice to the clients. So I think that this is a real shame. It fills a market because people are so time poor now, and they get I haven't got time to cut the bloody grass. We'll get Jim's mowing in, or get someone in who's never done this sort of work before in their life except their own gardens.
They think, I'll do that because mowing's easy. Just go up and down,
mowing's
up and down.
easy, yeah. That's a real smart thing to do. And I always bang on about mowing. It's a big part of how a place looks. And we're in the middle of winter now, and if you went out to my backyard, my grass is dark green. And even though it's kikuyu, it's a mongrel grass, but it's a dark green. And that's because I know how to look after it. My experience over the years, I've worked in turf research. I was curator at, Toorak Ladies College for 7 odd years, and then so I've got lots and lots of experience.
Yeah, of course.
But these people that mow the grass, in the middle of winter, for instance, rather than cutting the grass every 2 weeks, they might be saying, well, gee whiz, I can't go out every 2 weeks because I'm cutting nothing. So in order to get their money, they go out to that grass that's basically dormant and they lower the mowing height. And by lowering the mowing height,
Shit, is this guy talking?
they are setting things up for failure when spring comes. Because the lower the grass you have on the top, the less less root depth you have below to sustain what's on top. So those roots come towards the surface.
Right, so
and of course, the first hot day burns the roots.
Right.
So the grass is dead.
Right.
Whereas
I didn't know that,
if they were half smart about the way that they control
just half
mowing
smart.
grass, for instance, they would be feeding it on a regular basis.
Yeah, what's regular?
They would be encouraging that growth to come up.
Yeah, what's regular, mate?
And they would have something to cut
That's right.
on a fortnightly basis.
That's funny, because I just spoke to the class about fertilising and the importance of fertilising at the start of every season.
But Jim's mowing, poor Jim.
Poor
but
Jim.
Jim or whoever, whatever franchise, would not have the money that they need to keep the business going. So you're saying they're going on a weekly basis, cutting people's lawns?
Yeah, or
which-
fortnightly.
Okay. And so then, which is ruining
How about you
grass,
do
I
your
understand.
research?
And they're just trying to justify their time that they're spending there, so they crank the mower down to take a bit more off.
Yeah, that's what we
You can
do,
only
we
do
scalp
that
it.
so many times during winter before you get down to bare dirt.
That's why we're so
And then you've got
successful
all
here at
sorts
Jim's
of,
Mowing, because we scalp the
inherent
lawns and we
problems.
move
Part
on.
of Jim's franchise is that he should train his people.
Well,
Should be part of it.
Yeah, they should be taught. It's not just a matter of
that's
buying
ironic.
something and then getting out
Why
there
don't you
and
come
going
in
and
and
doing
learn?
it. It's more a case of understanding, and it's not difficult to understand these things.
That's why I'm teaching.
There's with the internet today, there's lots and lots of access to those
You watch
things.
my YouTube
There's
mate?
Instagrams, there's lots of posts on those sorts of things and how to
I've
do
probably had
things
more hits
properly.
on it than you.
Sure is.
And with Instagram, if you find and follow someone that's passionate about gardening,
What's your page?
they're very
I'll be
happy
sure
to
not
answer
to jump on
questions.
it.
I get it all the time,
know.
and it's a great way of doing it.
Okay.
All right,
Time
so
at Toorak's Lady College.
That's peeve number one.
that's peeve number one, right? Peeve number two.
I know what it's going to be.
Yeah, great.
Now, Matt, what do you think of that?
Well, I think it's an uneducated view, Joel, to be perfectly honest. He talks about education and training, and yet here we are in a fantastic training facility where for the last 4 hours I've been talking about the importance of fertilising, the importance of mowing heights, the importance of looking after the client's lawn when it's dormant. So rather than speak on a subject where you think you're educated about and have an opinion, how about researching what you're about to talk about before jumping on your horse and bad-mouthing something that you know completely nothing about. He talks about having all this experience and education, yet he's clearly uneducated about the way we do things here. Look, I think there's probably a small element, and I'm talking less than 1%, of what he said might have been correct, in that people who may not have had a vast experience in mowing or gardening buy a franchise. But that experience becomes manifestly increased when they come out here, they do the course, and then they go and learn on the job. They're not going out knowing nothing. They're going out with some starting base, and it just doesn't stop there. I went on and did Cert 2 and Cert 3 in horticulture, and I did it only because it was offered to me through the Gyms Network. So the fact that he thinks, oh yeah, we're all just going to go and spend money and buy a mower and our job's done, perhaps he should look at the independents versus how many independents are out there versus how many gyms out there, and compare a few lawns and gardens. He's welcome to come out and have a look at some of my clients' lawns, because I can tell you, his might be looking pretty good in winter and dark green, probably because he spray painted it. But come and have a look at some of my clients' lawns. I bet you they're looking far better than his. There's a guy on this course at the moment who has been in the industry for 10 years, and he has chosen to get out of working for a company and go it on his own. So he's completely and utterly wrong that people have no knowledge when they come and buy a franchise in the mowing, right? Apart from their own garden. I mean, that's just crap.
I think a pet peeve of us and yourself, obviously, is that people might have this general perception, like that gentleman do, but if you go into the rabbit hole of the YouTube content and see everything that we do from a training perspective, because we put it all out there, you would see quite quickly how incorrect he is.
He doesn't even have to look at that. He just spend a day on the road with a couple of gyms franchisees mowing, and go and have a look at some of the high-end gardens that they maintain and the lawn, and speak to some of the clients about what we've been able to do, not me particularly, but how their gardens have increased. Sure, people are time poor, but they don't choose just gyms because they're time poor. They choose them because they know it's a good brand, a good network, and they trust the people that are doing their properties. So, And
it's not just lawns, so let's just correct
No,
him. So I know because
no.
you do a lot of projects and you put them online, so maybe you want to talk about some of your stuff.
Yeah, look, okay, so sure, we mow lawns, we do turf, we do irrigation. There are guys out there who are qualified landscapers doing total makeovers. Myself, I do a lot of soft landscaping, planting, mulching, redesigning people's gardens. Now, I don't have a degree in landscape architecture. Doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. Doesn't mean I don't know what particularly is going to grow well or look well in a client's garden. Versus an independent who might be in and out one day a fortnight or one day a month. We spend a bit of time with our clients. We get to know them. So when you get to know your client, you get to know the client's garden. And I just think he's wrong in so many areas.
And another thing was the disdain at the start, but I sort of think, well, why wouldn't you want blokes like yourself and other people who can change their life through gardening and making other people's gardens better and have a great lifestyle from being in the garden all the time, which you have? And how much difference has it made to your life being a part of Gyms Mowing?
Look, I was just saying, and touch wood, that in 6 years, I've had one sick day. Now, that says a lot. It says a lot in terms of being out in the elements, the people that you work for, the people that you work with. And, he's chosen... Did you notice, though, that he chose Gyms Mowing? He didn't choose, Fred's Independents or classic lawns and gardens down the road, because he doesn't know them, because we're out there. We're out there, and why are we out there? Because we're popular. Why are we popular? Because we do a good job. Not just with mowing, with other stuff. So, I say no publicity is bad publicity, Joel, in some regard. I mean, he's totally wrong. And he's talking from a very uneducated perspective.
Yes, if you're going to shoot your shot on podcast, make sure you shoot properly, because as you can see, Matt, one of our expert franchisees there, has just counteracted a lot of those points. And we might even have to interview this gentleman at some stage, hopefully maybe put him through the training and see what he thinks.
Yeah, look, and I'm sure he's got some great knowledge and great experience that he could share.
He does. He has a great Instagram. I've got to give him, he's got a great Instagram where they share their gardening passion, but I think the arrogance almost in a way that no one else has that same passion within Gyms Mowing is completely wrong.
Yeah, and look, how long has he been around?
Long time.
Okay.
Long time.
So give others the opportunity to get to his, time in the business before he starts knocking off people that he doesn't even know.
So we put you on the spot there, Matt. So thank you very much for doing that.
No worries.
And if you want to learn more about Jim's Mowing and what we do, head to the Jim's Mowing YouTube channel and jimsmowing.com.au. We've got a lot of good information on there, especially in the blogs, but the YouTube channel as well with Matt. If you want to see what Matt does, check out the Day on the Road. It's our most watched YouTube video, Matt. So
Well, Joel just informs me I had a lot more hair back then.
No, it was blonde, a bit more blonder. That's what it was.
But someone also said I was carrying a bit more, so I'd probably take the weight versus I don't know. We'll see.
There we go. No, thanks, Matt. We appreciate it.
No worries.